So let me show you what I got going on here. All right, the whole thing that started this fiasco was the shifter bushing. It's a manual transmission, and the shifter bushing disintegrated. I think, yeah, there's all those black specks back in there, right in there. That's all that shifter bushing. So that disintegrated, and I was in traffic at the time, and I pulled on the shifter pretty hard and wound up shearing the 5th reverse bracket bolt thing, which is right here. I sheared this bolt off right here. It goes right there. This is supposed to be over here. So I sheared that off and wound up getting the transmission stuck in 5th gear. But it was only a mile from my house, and I was still able to get it home. And so now we've been working on it. Obviously dropped the transmission out. I got the bolt out the other day, and so I need to replace that bolt. The transmission was covered in oil. I cleaned it off, but it was covered in oil, so that led me down another path. So I had to figure out where all that oil was coming from, and I went in and started taking stuff apart, and I got down to the heads, and I was torn deciding what to do, and wound up taking the heads off, and both the heads turned out to be cracked. So I've got new heads for it, and that's just about where we are. If you look around here, you can see, oh, maybe you can't, it's not showing up on camera, but a lot of this stuff is covered in oil. I got the starter back here. That's absolutely covered in oil, so I have to clean that all up. So it's just been turned into a big project. I'm having fun doing it. I don't mind. I wanted a big project vehicle. It just turned out to be mine. So that's where we're at. Stay tuned. This is the plate that goes behind the flywheel. The starter sits in that opening there, but this is just covered. Look at it. Where the oil was actually coming from was out the valve covers. The valve covers were not screwed down tight. I mean, they were so loose that when I went to take them off, I thought I had the wrong socket. I mean, they weren't even finger tight. That kind of ticks me off because I had some work done, and when the guy put it back together, he didn't screw everything down nice and tight like he should have. And it turns out it actually would have been a pretty easy job. I wish I would have tried to fix it myself. A gasket went bad. The intake sits here, and there's a gasket that sits here between the head and the intake. That went bad, and I've got to replace it right now again anyway, so it would have been a pretty easy job, I think. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm just about ready to start putting it back together. I've got a lot of work to do on this block yet to get it cleaned up and ready for the gasket and the heads, but just give you a glance of what I'm working with here. All right, guys, I've kind of got myself somewhat organized now. A lot more confident that I'll be able to get this thing back together. I got everything in these bags labeled here. For the most part. Some of them I didn't label well enough, so it'll be a process of elimination to figure out where those go. And then now I'm getting ready to go to work on this block here. Getting it cleaned up for the new head gasket. Look how filthy that is. Gosh, I hope I can get all that out of there. All right, let's do it. All right, we're going to, if I can keep my finger out of the way, take this scraper here, start getting this head surface scraped off, scraped clean. I already went over it with a razor blade, and it's probably pretty good, but I got this like carbide scraper, and it's taking off even more stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing and get this ready to put the heads back on. I don't know if you can make that out or not. There you can. You can see it kind of taking it right down to the original machining whorls that are on there. Yeah, there you can. Taking it right down. These curved lines here are the original machining marks, so looks pretty good. Get this one cleaned up and do the other side.